Hello, and welcome to Engaging the Online Learner. My name is Cassandra Gendron. You guys know me as Cassie. This video is intended to help you engage with our scholars in a way that is meaningful and a way that learning time can be maximized. So the first thing you need to do is to know your learner. This is easy. We already know our scholars. We know who is going to need that extra nudge. We know who is going to take our work and run with it. We already know which phone calls we need to make. We've got this one covered, fam. We're good. Suggestions for the creation of assignments. When you're creating assignments, you should include your learning objectives and standards. It doesn't have to be in the assignment, but it should be somewhere. It should be accessible for everybody. You should make the assignment a PDF or a shared document, such as Google Docs. In your instructions, you need to be specific. You need to be clear. You need to be specific on your submission standards. If you don't tell your learner how you want it submitted, you're going to get some crazy stuff. So be very specific that you want the pictures upright, you want them legible, you want them clear. I'll get into more of that when I say when I say pictures, I mean pictures that they're taking of their work that they're giving to you via Google Classroom. There will be links that send you to how to do some of that stuff, but that's not the point of this video, so I'm not going to get into that. If you have questions on how I do my submission standards, please feel free to email me. I want you to create high order problems and work that encourages exploration. While you can't encourage them to go into public spaces during this time, we can encourage them to look on the internet. Give them carefully constructed parameters for which to explore. Be specific in your expectations and then just let them go, because that's all we can do. We're not leaning over their shoulder helping them at this point. We don't have that ability. They have to self-advocate and come to us. We can nudge them and nudge them and nudge them all we want, but ultimately they have to come to us with their questions. So we need to give them space to engage with the material, to let them fly. Also, your assignments and problems should encourage digital communication between scholars. This is a real world skill and they need to practice it. Even us as educators need to practice it. Use shared documents through Google Docs. Use Google Hangouts for what we call face-to-face communication. I will talk a little bit more about availability in that later on in this video. So when you are giving assignments, they are turning in assignments, and it is your job to give them feedback. When you give them feedback, you need to be specific, you need to be thorough, you need to be clear. Give feedback as often as possible and as quickly as possible. Each student works at their own pace, and lack of feedback can slow the workflow for a scholar. Excuse my stuttering. So make sure that you're on that. You need to make your feedback clear, specific, thorough, and in a timely fashion. It's no different than teaching in person, except for in person, you wait for a stack. Here, you're going to be grading on an individual case-by-case basis. You might be grading at more instances throughout the day. So availability and live support. What I would suggest to you is to set times that you will be available and make those times known. Use Google Hangouts for those meetings. If you are going to be leading a class, make that time known, record it, and then post the recording for scholars who are unable to make it. How to record it, I will provide a list of tools for you in another section in the Google Classroom. But you absolutely have to record it because not every scholar is going to be able to make the time that you are leading class. We are all on our individual schedules now. We have to operate on something called asynchronous, which means that you put the material out there and they digest it when they can, as opposed to I will be here at such and such a time. Everyone needs to be here at such and such a time. We can't promise that. So you need to be flexible in regards to what we call asynchronicity. And I'm including in here something that I found that guides my practice of teaching. It's called 5 Habits of Heart That Help Make Democracy Possible. And those 5 habits are an understanding that we're all in this together, an appreciation of the value of otherness, an ability to hold tension in life-giving ways, a sense of personal voice and agency, and a capacity to create community. These 5 tenets guide my teaching practice, whether it be online or in person. So when you are engaging with your students, remember that we are all in this together and we value each other's differences. And as teachers, we hold tension in life-giving ways, in the ways that we ask and challenge and press and guide, in the ways that we teach. Teaching and learning are personal journeys. So we have a sense of personal voice and agency in everything that we do and everything that our students do. And we must hold space for that in this time. We are all different. We are all experiencing this in different ways. We need to own that, and we need to own our work. And lastly, a capacity to create community. It is so very important right now that we continue to rely on one another and to love one another and reach out to one another and find ways to create that community, even though we have to be apart. I hope that you find this content helpful. I tried very hard to be brief and keep it under 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, please email me.